Cool. We are going to watch a video from Maureen, and then Maureen's going to come up afterwards. So get your popcorn out and enjoy this little video from Maureen. Hopefully it all works.
Hi everyone, I'm Maureen McQuarrie and I've been at the Baptist Church for about 20 years or more. When I first came, I met a lovely lady called Maureen Brown, and I got connected with her, and she was with Mission Without Borders, and she was doing Operation Cover Up, which involved knitting. So I went to one of her meetings, and afterwards I said to Maureen, I don't want to come, they're all old people, and I'm not old, and I feel out of place here. So I left it at that. I didn't go to the meeting, and I didn't pick up the knitting needles. However, I continued with my friendship with Maureen, and I watched what she was doing, and I realised there was room for me, even though I wasn't a knitter. I worked at the warehouse and I saw some fantastic bargains because I was a checkout operator and I knew all the bargains. And so I'd ring her up and say, look, I've got a bargain here, are you interested? So I was comfortable being part of the organisation, doing what I was good at, thinking out a bargain and spending some money. But I'm also good at coordinating, and I found that there was room for me in this organisation. And I used the abilities that I have. Now, one of the things, I supported a child that was overseas. I thought I can do my bit here. And then in 2013, Maureen approached me and she said, I'm thinking of stepping down. I said, oh, that's sad. And I said, who's replacing you? And she said, you. I said, oh, no, I'm not. She said, would you go and pray? And I said, no. I said, yes, all right, I'll go and pray about it. So I brought it before the Lord and I asked him what he wanted me to do. And his instructions were very clear. I was to step up into Maureen's role, but not on my own like she did it. She just worked a lot on her own. I was to have a committee. So I met with Maureen and the director, and I said, I'm happy to step up, but I must have a committee, and I would like to select a committee so that it's just not a one-man band. And I selected older ladies, that one that I could find, but ones also that had a passion for Operation Cover Up. So my passion is to provide, is to show the warmth of Jesus to the people overseas. You know, if you're cold and you're freezing, you don't want to think about God. But if you've got a beautiful hat, scarves, mittens, and a blanket wrapped around, your heart is open to hear about Jesus. So this is what I'm passionate about, and also to address poverty. I read in a magazine, it says, all I want for Christmas is food. It kind of broke my heart, because nobody ever asked for food for Christmas because we get so much. And it also led me to take another step with my friend Joy, and we opened a recycled clothing shop. And from that, from the proceeds, we go half, Joy and I, and so I get money so I can go and buy wool. Wool's very expensive, and most of my knitters are very elderly. So I feel quite privileged if I can provide wool for them so that they can carry on knitting. Many people have said to me, Maureen, you gave my mother such a purpose in life by providing knitting for her, and it just kept her going. So I'm with Mission Without Borders, and Operation Cover Up is the sideline of Mission Without Borders. They are an organisation, a Christian organisation, who work in Eastern Europe. They work in Ukraine, Moldova, Romania, helping the communities. I love the word they say, empowering communities, transforming lives. That's what they do. So people in communities involved with Mission Without Borders, and they get food parcels, they help them after school. There's so much that they can do, and Operation Cover Up is a sideline of this, but we're also a big part because we're providing warmth. don't have any really big goals, but I try to be an encouragement to my knitters. They're very important. If we don't have them, we won't have anything going, because I'm sure not knitting, not like that. And so I provide encouragement, and I try to be really friendly towards my knitters. And however, I do want to touch as many lives as I can through our organisation, and that they might realise that Jesus loves them. Sometimes we get a magazine once a year from Mission Without Borders, and it has stories of lives that have been transformed, children that have gone to camp and they've come to know Jesus, families that were just so desperate, and the mission came and brought them food and encouragement. And I find those stories really inspiring. We get thank you notes from different families. Thank you for helping me. As a committee, we also do a bit of fundraising ourselves. Sometimes we take money out of our Designer Day money and we put it towards special projects. So a group of us sit around and decide what we want to do. We've done backpacks for school children. We've done meals for elderly. So this is another area, as well as the knitting, which I'm quite excited about. Now, how can you help? You're probably sitting thinking, this sounds really good. Well, you can help in a very simple way. When you go grocery shopping, now most of us do that, in your trolley you could just put some practical things, some soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, and just give them to me because we send hygiene products. You can also come to our events that we have, a Designer Day in September, and support us because that money goes towards a special project and wool. You can buy me some wool, 100% wool, a ball of wool. Wow, that's gold. I just want to say that you can't afford to sit and do nothing because there's a lot of needs out there. I also link in with my home group. I used to run it, now I go to it, and sometimes I say, I've got a need here, I need food boxes, and we go to the jar and count the money out. So don't feel like you're on your own. Join with a group and become part of a group. You can't do everything, Mother Teresa says, but you can do something little, and I love that. And 1 John 3:17, if we see a need and close our hearts, how can the love of God be in us? And that's a challenge to me. So I just want to carry on with what I'm doing, but you're welcome to join me in this journey. Thank you very much.
It was great, hey? Maureen, would you like to come on up? There she is. So Maureen and her awesome team have been busy bees this week, and we're going to hear a few details about what's been going on.
Morning, everyone. Funny seeing yourself on the screen. Never happened before. I must be famous. Well, I'm not, but anyway. Yesterday was Baling Day. We've been working for weeks. We had a meeting at Avonhead last Saturday and collected all the knitting in town. We take the church van and we take the trailer, and she was loaded, just fair dinkum loaded. So we brought all this stuff back, and the Monday after that we counted. We have a team of people who count. You spend all day chatting and counting, get a lot done. So yesterday was Baling Day. Much excitement because once the baling's done, we can relax for the end of the year. We had a fabulous day yesterday. I am from a generation of baby boomers, and I remember Kerry saying, baby boomers don't like change. Well, he's right. We don't like change, but yesterday we changed. We didn't have a wool press, we had a fadge. And it meant that we had to just put everything in and stomp on it. And I tell you, it made our life easy. And it was so good that we could do it. Yesterday we did 737 large blankets and 61 small ones. We did 26 bales, 91 boxes. The boxes have clothing in them. They have hygiene, stationery and stuff like that. Maureen and I, on the Friday before, you have to put 2 pieces of paper on every box and label them so that they know what they are. We did that on the Friday morning. Please go out to the youth hall and have a look at the bales. They look wonderful. So it was a big morning. But I want to say thanks because not often do I get a chance to thank many people. I want to thank the church. We kind of take over the rooms closer to baling. We've got 4 sheds out the back, 2 sheds that we use for all our knitting when it's boxed up, and we take over 2 rooms in the church. And I really appreciate having the room because, well, it used to be in my house, and I'm sure pleased it's not. So I'm pleased it's here, and it used to be in my garage, and I'm sure pleased it's not. So we appreciate the church's support. I want to thank Maureen Braun. I've worked with her for years, like I shared in the video, but I was on holiday for 3 months, and she organised all our sheds for all the stuff that came in. So thanks, Maureen, I appreciate you. I want to thank Jill Robinson. That lady is a quiet lady in the background, but listen, I'm the one at the front, but all these people work, and Jill takes all those squares that come in, all the strips that come in, and she just puts them all, makes them into blankets, and she works really hard sewing blankets. I hear that they were sewing blankets on Thursday night or Friday night, and her home group helps out as well. Also for my lovely committee, and also for the ones that came in for the baling yesterday. I want to thank the men's group. Normally, Ross moves all our boxes, and we've got a lot of boxes, but this time I felt God say to me, ask for help, Maureen, ask for help. So Ross asked the men's group, could they help? And on Thursday, in the rain, 3 men came, were part of our team, and we moved boxes from 2 sheds and from 2 rooms. So it was just amazing. The best person to help say thanks to is my husband, Ross. I wouldn't do it without him. And it's the saying goes, yeah, give him a clap, yeah. As the saying goes in our house, he's the best thing on 2 legs. And I just want to finish off with something. I went to Sunday school in Auckland, where I live, and it was St Giles, and we sang this song, Jesus bids us shine with a pure, clear light, like a little candle burning in the night. In this world of darkness, we must shine, you in your small corner, and I in mine. So I want to finish with this. I'm in my little corner, and you're in your little corner doing something, but when we come together, we can do great things for Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Wasn't that awesome? I love the unity that what Maureen and her team does, brings all kinds of people together to work towards something that's so on God's heart. And please go and have a look. Maybe not during kids' church out the back there, but afterwards. If they're still in there, don't barge in there. But after the service, go have a look at all the baling at the back there. It's really, really cool. So thank you so much, Maureen. So that's something these things will go overseas, and it's all done by people in our midst and around Christchurch, and faithful knitters brought together to go overseas. And now we're going to have a bit more of a local focus, and we're going to invite Tracy to come forward. Tracy leads the Hope Trust, and we're going to hear a message from her and a little bit about the trust as well. Come on up. Let's invite her. Would you like the video first?
Yes.
Okay.
You tell them and I'll go.
Okay. Great. We're going to have a little video to begin with as well. And then we'll clap, and Tracy can come up. There's a proper video. Yep.
that.
We are passionate about people, not programs. People are at the heart of what we do. We have over 200 people that volunteer with us. We have over 11,000 volunteer hours each year. We provide over 2,000 community kai meals each year. We provide over 140 meals each week to people. When we talk about wraparound services, we mean if somebody comes to counselling and they need a food parcel, we will get them a food parcel. If they come to the garden and they need counselling or a food parcel, we'll try and look after both of them. So we are really concerned about the whole person, the physical, the mental health, the well-being and the spiritual, because that makes us complete. Hope Community Trust is people-focused, holistic, wraparound services. We have a counselling service, we have a community garden, we have a food bank, we have an op shop, we do community meals.
Well, welcome everyone tonight. It's great to see you all. Hope you're hungry.
What we've got to do is make it better for the next generation. Bringing hope, transforming lives. Asking for help is not easy. And if we can do that with somebody, we can transform somebody's life.
Nice bit of music there at the end. How are you, Tracy?
Good, thank you.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tracy, first of all, I've been studying away and working away over in the church office. Been working more recently, which is great. But something that I just want to say is that, and say to all of us as well, is I see Tracy a couple times a week. We bump into each other, and she is an amazing lady. She does amazing work. She's very passionate. But what you can really see coming through Tracy is her love for people. And I've seen that passion and enthusiasm be very focused, and it turn into making the most of little opportunities and not turning people away. It's turned into very tangible, very clear, very, I think, godly touches on people's lives, no matter what background or where they come from. And so before I hand it over to you, Tracy, I just wanted to say that because I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and it's a real privilege to have you over here and leading the work that you do, because it's amazing work.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you. You know, I'm not really the most equipped person to do the job that I'm doing over there, but I believe that God called me. And I believe when There's a call on your life, He will provide everything that you need to complete that. And if you don't have the skills, He will actually bring the people around you that do. And so the work we do is team, but God heads that team. And we don't know what's going to happen on any given day. We don't know who's going to walk in the door or what's going to happen. But we are very deliberative and prayerfully approach every situation that comes in. We believe that any person that comes across our way is a divine appointment, and we've got to treat it like that. No situation, no person is the same, and we treat them as an individual just as God would, because God stopped and took time. Jesus took time. So anyway, I was supposed to write this over the last couple of weeks, and time has it hasn't happened, and
I came in at 8 o'clock on Friday and I thought I'm going to spend all day, on this. And by 2:30 I hadn't even started. And so I started at 9 o'clock on Friday night and I finished at 3:15. So if there's a few faux pas in there, I've got a good excuse, I think. But anyway, I wanted to show that video. It was made last year, so the figures are a little bit out, but it gives a visual glimpse of what we actually do. And I'm a visual thinker, and I like to see things because seeing is believing. But today what I want to do is give you a snapshot of Hope Community Trust, a moment of time for where we are now. And there's no better place to start than our staff. And we took a staff photo. So that's our staff. So most of you will know Virginia at the end. She does our counselling, administration and reception. She's the person that I send a document to and say, can you please make this look pretty? She's my make it pretty lady. You can see me at the back. Lenore at the front does our food bank and all things food. And she is a godsend, and you'll never see her walking. She is always running. Sandra, that does our community garden, is poking her head out the back, and you all know the wonderful work that she does there. And then Amy, you may not know, but she does she's our communications person. She does all our grants. She will go and speak at things or have a presence if we are asked to go somewhere. So that's our team. But Hope Community Trust has 8 counsellors and 3 counselling interns. We've had 91 new counselling clients this year and 827 counselling appointments. That is up to the end of June. 53% of our counselling referrals come from our website. We've got a referral form on our website. Since January 2023, top-ups have provided food to over 13,000 people. We have served 1,273 community kai meals this year, up until the end of May, and each month we receive approximately 120 incoming phone calls. Last week we spoke at the North Canterbury Teachers Aid and Support Teachers meeting. We chaired the local food bank and budgeting services forum. We started our ladle lunches at Woodend. We raised over $1,000 in a clothing sale. We held a top-ups. We've been asked to advocate for 7 and support 7 different people with 7 different types of issues, and we published our winter newsletter. But what do we do? What we want to do is to bring hope and transform lives by showing Jesus so that people can know Jesus. And the best way to just really tell you what we do is stories. So I've got a few stories today. You know, when I was younger, the best stories always started with once upon a time and always had happy endings. Now, that's not always the case because sometimes we don't know the ending to the story, but we just play a little part, a little slice into somebody's life. And hopefully what we input, there will be good outputs in the future. And Christ is the ultimate output. But I met a man. He wasn't a tall man. He wasn't a short man, but he was a little bit taller than me. It was a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. He wasn't big. He's what people would call slender. He told me he was hungry and asked for some food. He had a backpack. It wasn't a big backpack. It was just a backpack. Frankly, it was a totally unremarkable backpack. But that was all that he had to carry his food. He was walking. His feet were his wheels, so to speak. I asked him, as his backpack had limited space, what food did he need? What was most important to him? And he told me he actually had no food at all. And after asking a few questions, I discovered he needed something that could be eaten cold and easily opened. He had no can opener, no plate, no cup, no knife, no fork and no spoon. He had no pot or bowl. He had nothing. He had no access to hot water, but there was a barbecue. He could heat water on if he had a container to put it in. I gave him some dried apricots and he ate them straight away so I could tell he was hungry. I gave him a drink and he drank that straight away so I could tell he was thirsty. I went to the op shop and we found a cup, plate, knife, fork, spoon and a pot. He asked if we had something that could keep him warm, as he only had a thin blanket. It wasn't warm enough at night as he was living on the riverbank. Another visit to the op shop provided a sleeping bag and a hat. He was hungry, so we fed him. He was thirsty, so we gave him drink. And he was cold, and we gave him warmth. Now, you may be thinking, how common is this? That happened several months ago. We had somebody in a very similar situation 2 weeks ago, but this time somebody was collecting food on his behalf because he wouldn't leave his car. They got food and blankets. The person they were helping was 18 years old, living in a car. On Friday, we had somebody ask for help for somebody else living in their car, and this person had a tent to keep their chickens in. In Matthew 25:35-40, it says, "For when you saw me hungry, you fed me. For when you found me thirsty, you gave me drink. When I had no place to stay, you invited me in. And when I was poorly clothed, you covered me. When I was sick, you tenderly cared for me. And when I was in prison, you visited me." And then the godly asked him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, and give you food and something to drink? When did we see you with no place to stay and invite you in? When did we see you poorly clothed and cover you? When did we see you sick and tenderly cared for you or visit you in prison?" And the king answered them, "Don't you know? When you care for one of the least of these, my little ones, my true brothers and sisters, you are demonstrating your love for me." At Hope Community Trust, that's what we do. We have provided clothes when there were none. On Thursday, I received a phone call from our friendly gentleman in blue, and and he told me that on Thursday night there was a fire at the camping ground and a caravan had burnt down, and this person had nothing to left. It was an electrical fault. Burnt down, they had nothing. The only thing they had were the clothes that they were wearing. And he said, "Can you help?" Can we help? Yes, we can help. So I said, "Come to the op shop and just take what you need." And they did. We go to the Lehman's Road camping ground twice a week, and the team that goes out there has developed and built really strong connections, not only with the people that live there, but with the camping ground management and staff. Now, I got a call from one of those teams 5 minutes after the other phone call, and they said there was a fire last night. I knew what the rest of the story was going to be, but had phone calls from the campers and the camp staff wanting to know if we could help them. I told them we'd already received a phone call and help had been given. You know, we had one situation there, but we had two different groups of people coming to us looking for help and looking for solutions. I want people in this community to know that we are here. I want Hope Community Trust to be the place that people think of to come for help when they are in need. We have given furniture, beds and bedding. We have tidied houses. We have provided washing machines and given vegetables. We've prayed for people. Lenore led somebody to the Lord at the op shop. We have gifted counselling. We've provided food and even more food. You know, our community is under tremendous pressure at the moment. And under tremendous financial pressure. And it's not always seen. You can't look at somebody and tell if they were hungry, or whether they've got food in the cupboards or fridge. You can't look at a house and know if the rent or the mortgage has been paid, or if they're in a mortgage holiday, or if the bank's talking to them about what they're going to do to pay their debt. We have had people who would never ask for help or have never needed help asking for help. We've had 2 people this month asking for help with KiwiSaver withdrawals. I know of an increasing number of reverse mortgages and loans to adult children that are not being repaid, causing huge financial hardship within this community. Food is a currency that opens doors for us. It is a vehicle that not only provides practical help, but it eases financial burdens. Top Ups was formed for this reason. It has turned into what I would say the most important food support we provide. Top Ups is a Facebook group with over 480 members. When we have surplus food, we put a post up saying that people can come and collect it. On Thursday, we had 49 families come within 30 minutes. Our goal, if we can save a family $40, $50, $60 that they can put towards another expense, then we've helped that family. We had a food source that we used for top-ups that unexpectedly stopped this time last year. Friday, a week ago, we received a phone call saying that they had food for us to pick up. We had 3 hours. And after a few frantic phone calls and getting the van back from their camping ground run, we had less than an hour to get to Hornby. Now, the company really likes us, and when they went to collect the food, that was indicated several times that it had stopped by the powers that be. And I've spent all week thinking that our power that be is greater than their powers that be. I'm asking if you can pray for food support for us, that it will increase, that we will get an abundance on food and that we can share. It is not our food if people give it to us, it is the community's food. And we really need more food in greater quantities. Please pray into that for us. And this may sound really silly, but please pray for ice cream. You know, it is such a treat for people, and it's nice to be able to provide treats as well. You know, we had somebody come in last year and it was their wife's birthday and they had nothing. And we would be able to provide them a cake. And we had a little gift that we could give because they're really important to people when they're struggling, that they're not forgotten. Your food is the one tangible thing that we can provide people. Venison mince. You may have heard that we distribute venison mince. This week coming is the first delivery we had last year. It was 920 kilos of mince. And over the past year, we have received 3,638 kilos of venison mince. And that mince has fed over 29,104 people. We distribute it to 17 organisations and churches from Oxford to Kaikoura. Hunters for Hope. And as a side note, if you're ever needing any venison mint, go and see Esther in the office because she's got some in the freezer for you guys to come and get. Hunters for Hope was formed after that first delivery. Their goal is 500 kilos of mince per year to be delivered to us that we can distribute to people. They pick up venison from Timaru to Kaikoura and everywhere in between. They've got at least one guiding company that supplies them meat. I actually think it's 2, but I don't want to say that in case I get it wrong. They have placed 5 freezers around North Canterbury for hunters to put the meat that they don't want in, that they can mince up. They have told me, Steve and Adam, the visionaries behind all this, they volunteer their time. I think it's grown a little bit bigger and quicker than they expected. And they tell me that it's $1,000 a month for them to do what they're doing. That's quite a lot of money, and I'm not quite sure how long-term sustainable that is for them. Please pray that they get support and funding to help with these costs. You know, we've just recently applied for a freezer chiller that they can take with them to collect the venison, to keep it frozen and keep it chilled. And we see it as a long-term investment. because we believe that God's going to provide us food that we can use it to go and collect food in. So we're thinking big here because we have a big God. So we're going to hear in the next couple of weeks if we've been successful with that application. I suspect that there'll be a small shortfall if we do get funding. So I'm asking you to pray into that God's financial provision if there's any shortfall that we have. It's Missions Month at Hope Community Trust, at the church. And at Hope Community Trust, our mission is this community. God has called me to make this community my mission field. Now, has he called you, or should I say, where is your mission field? You know, we all, this month we've heard a lot about Matthew 25:19, the Great Commission. You know, go therefore, make disciples of all nations. Help them to learn of me, believe in me, and obey my words, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We are living in a community that is ripening for harvest. As Christians within this community, we are the signposts that show people the way to Christ. Our words, our actions, and our character all count. Because whether you like it or not, people are listening to our words. They are watching our actions, and they are looking at our character. At Hope Community Trust, we want to plant the seeds that one day will grow, water the seeds that are already planted, lay the foundations that will need further development, but we want to provide the yeast that produces effects far beyond anything we can imagine in the kingdom of Christ. Ringaroa Baptist Church, you are making a difference within this community. You are bringing hope, changing and transforming lives. Your investment in this community is not only bearing fruit, but the fruit is ripening and nearing harvest. Andrew, the video that was not the video at the beginning, could you play that, please? We have a missing piece. My question to you is, are you that missing piece? Are you the missing piece to God's mission for Hope Community Trust in North Canterbury? Are you the person that God is calling to complete this picture? Has he given you an idea that you cannot shake that maybe needs to be shared? Maybe that's the missing piece for us. Have you got time to spare and volunteer? I've had people making soup for me for the last week. Honestly, I ring up anybody. If you know how to make mushroom soup, let me know. We need somebody that can make mushroom soup and tomato soup. You know, we have all sorts of things that need to be done, and a lot of them are really random and run-off things. But that missing piece, you may be that missing piece for us. Has he blessed you with resources and finances that you can in turn bless other people? Maybe that is the missing piece. And have you somebody on your mind? Maybe you are their missing piece. You know, Jason talked about latest newsletter. This is our latest newsletter. This is the way that you hear about Hope Community Trust. You know, if you ever in a home group or want to get a group of friends and invite us around, I am happy to share what we do. I am here happy to share the latest stories and what we see are the latest needs and the latest trends, because we are really good at picking up the trends that are happening in this community, more than any other organisations, because we deal with anybody from all ages and all cultures. Now, this time last year, we realised that marriages were under great pressure, so we applied for funding. It took to January this year before other organisations figured out that that was going on. So we have funding available for people that have relationship problems, because we want to save families, because we want to look after our kids, because that's making it better for the next generation. So our latest newsletter has just come out. Now, Jason was half correct before when he said they were out there. They were out there, but Julie Clockley's now got them. So if you want to get a paper copy of the newsletter, go and see Julie and she'll give them to you. But she's also got a clipboard and it says on it, are you the missing piece? Because maybe God is prompting you something about your missing piece for something. Or you can do something for us. Or you can do something for this community. Or maybe you can't do anything but you can pray. Go and see Julie. And she will write down your missing piece and I'll be in contact with you. That's really all I want to say. But what I want to say is this mission, this town, this community, the Waimakariri area is right for harvest. We have so many people that have got practical needs that we can meet. But they also have deeply spiritual needs that only Christ can fill. And if you don't tell them about Christ, who is going to? If you're not going to share what Christ has done for you, who is going to tell them? Because we can't assume somebody else is going to do it. And I've had this sense for a long time that we are on the cusp of something big and something amazing. And God is calling this church and the trust to step up and meet the community needs in a way that we have never met before. And that is half scary, but we've got a big God, and God provides everything we need. And I just pray that we are all ready for when He calls us to do what we need to do.
There we go. Thank you, Tracy. That was amazing. Isn't it great to hear both stories of what's happening overseas and how we can serve our people in need overseas, and then also on our back doorstep? It's amazing, isn't it? There's some incredible work that is going on, and I love that little picture of the missing piece. There's lots of missing pieces, I guess, inside of people, and God has, within the body of Christ, His church, that's us, He has placed gifts, talents, resources for us to be His hands and feet here on earth until He returns again.